ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I know after two very rich speeches, going into education session is like watching Tendulkar bat over and over again, but only Raju coming after that. How many of you know who is Venkatpati Raju? Thank God. I was worried you may not know. Okay, so this session is about a Toastmasters journey. Okay, how many of you are in Toastmasters for more than 1 year? Alright, so you're going to help me conduct this session. Okay, rest of you, so it's a delight for us that you are here, and probably I'm going to show you what a Toastmasters journey looks like, and we're going to have some question answers. Please feel free to ask any question, including politics, sex, religion. I will try my best not to answer them. Alright, so moving on. Alright, this is the first question. Why have you joined Toastmasters? Who would like to answer that? Anyone? Who's, yeah.
To get free of the fear of public speaking.
Fear of public speaking. Anyone else? Yeah.
To be fluent in whatever topics we spoke.
Okay. Again, speaking. Right. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah.
Platform for networking.
Platform for networking.
I feel there's a different kind of enthusiasm among people here and supporting each
Yeah, I
other.
thought we were normal people.
Helping each other, like become
Helping each other. Okay.
It's a very positive growth model.
Positive growth model. Yeah, companies would like to have that.
Leadership skills.
To change your personality.
Leadership skills. Leadership skills.
Leadership skills.
Friday evening.
Just to have fun.
Practice.
Practice. Okay, so we have some really good answers. Let's see. So this is to speakers, leadership, how to build self-confidence. That is what your attitude is about. Your fun is also here. And networking. So everything is here. Okay, so let's ask our pros who have been in Toastmasters for more than a year. So guys, whoever raised your hand, have you achieved all of these?
Yes.
Have you experienced all of this? Then why are you in Toastmasters? Goal is met.
Toastmasters is a journey, not a destination.
My Did you hear that?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
You did not, okay.
I said Toastmasters is a journey, not a destination.
Not a
Oh my God. Okay. So this is what most of the people say, tell me something new. What is, I already know all these things, right? So let me tell you one thing. So once you join Toastmasters, and some of you have already joined Toastmasters for a very long while, okay? What is going to happen is that you join Toastmasters feeling that you're gonna be a great speaker and you want to give that dream speech that people talk about, right? Some of the very famous speeches are that you want to be part of, right? Similarly with leadership and all this kind of thing. So what will happen is once you start delivering Toastmaster speeches, people will dream that you never speak. As you can see here, people are dreaming that you never speak. And if you want to become a leader, they will feel it is better that you are not visible. You're such a great person that it is better that we don't have a leader. And this will happen. Trust me, Toastmaster is an amazing journey which will take you to this point. And if you reach that point, which means you are on track with Toastmasters journey. And I'll tell you why. So, when I was a new Toastmaster, I was a very young Toastmaster. I'm still a young Toastmaster. But when I was new to the Toastmasters, I participated in humorous speech. You know, Aswati, you would have not believed, not a single soul laughed. But that was not the worst thing. The worst thing was there were 4 speakers, one was disqualified. That was not me. But then Chief Sir told me I did not get a single point, so that was the worst point. I thought I was really funny back then. I realized I was not funny. I always wanted to push the limits of everything. So when I was doing Saturday dance, I see, so our club has transformed. When I joined Toastmasters, Bangalore Toastmasters was really hot. We have like Rashdeep Manwani, Somesh Agarwal, and then we used to have Claudius Pereira. And they speak on the stage and the stage is going to bluster. Now they have changed, so we have adapted to the new style. We have cool president, we have cool leadership. Saturday dance is pretty cool. I mean, who comes here and says, laugh, laugh, laugh. And like, come on, believe! So realistic human. At that time when we used to come, I couldn't have come like this. I'm telling you. You think that I'm nicely dressed? You come to a club without a tie and you'll be thrown out of the club. It was that good. So, thanks for that. Now that helped us. I'm gonna tell you how it helped us a lot. But for the brief moment, let me ask some of the people, why have they, stayed back in Toastmaster? Vijay, Anand, you've been here for like more than a decade. Have you been Toastmaster as long as you've been in marriage?
I joined Toastmasters as a bachelor. 2003 I got married. And yeah. Well, Pawas, to answer this question, I don't get a chance to speak at home, so I come here.
So this is what Toastmasters does to you. Toastmaster Richard, why are you still in Toastmasters? You've been here for a very long time.
To improve my speaking skills, though they are there, I still feel when I compare to others, I can still be a better speaker.
Okay, great reason. Anyone else would like to share why they are in Toastmaster more than 1 year in Toastmaster?
I mean, you are always a work in progress. You don't reach that level of perfection. You keep on, polishing your skills over time. You interact with people, come on stage, perform. Say, believe me.
Same speech, same words. Vijay Anand's wife tells him daily.
Who I want also.
Alright, I'd like to add one point. I learned a lot from my mentors.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the reasons I keep coming back is just so that I could give the same learning back to the newbies and where I see myself in them.
Alright, very noble gesture, I would say. Okay, now, once you join Toastmasters, what will happen is that during the initial phase, you would have heard in Toastmasters a lot that 99% is your perspiration and 1% is motivation, or the other way around. I was just trying to see how many of you are listening. Okay, so you get the motivation from Toastmasters, but trust me, this is the only place you get to practice lot of skills. Skills that you cannot directly perform at your professional sphere, at your personal sphere. Some of the things that I personally learned is empathy. Okay, empathy is the most critical aspect. Just being a human, you need to be empathetic. And it's not easy to be empathetic, I can tell you. Why I used to come to Toastmasters is because I used to see world from people's eyes. It's as simple as that. I had my own version of what life is. I had my own version of how I saw things. But then there are people who spoke about a lot of different topics. Initially I started coming to Toastmasters just because the samosas were good during the day. But then I realized there was more to that. Okay, and such a big coincidence. Okay, so this is not what I'm making up. You can go and verify that on YouTube. So what Aswati started with her speech, I had the same opening 6 years ago. Same opening of the project too. I'm not joking. Go and see it. It's a completely different speech. But it's again a learning. How you can use one aspect of one fact and just relate a completely different story. So you just only need a rope. Cow entry you will get. You can tie them together wherever you want. Right? So I'm going to tell you more about what you can do in Toastmasters because this is something a lot of people will not know. During the phase of the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, some of you will lose interest. And it's easy to lose interest in Toastmasters. When you lose interest, take a break and then come back. You don't have to push yourself to come to Toastmasters. What you can probably do is, some of the things is try to explore more. Explore more in terms of who you are as a person. And this is something I learned a lot in Toastmasters. So, I had the ignominy of being the only bachelor president, the first bachelor president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. So it was an unsaid rule that to become a president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, you have to be married. My mentor said you're not qualified. I said, okay, fine, I'll get married for a few days. But then my mother did not agree, so I did not marry. But a lot of things changed, and why they said that was because I was more focused on who I am as a person rather than looking at the world in a different way. When you come to Toastmasters, you will fail, and if you're not failing, there's something wrong with you. Okay, please try to fail as much as possible. This is the only place where the failure will not cost you. Okay. One thing that I did, because my Toastmaster mentor said for a while, and then he changed his entire tactic. So I wanted to be the fastest GTM. Okay. How many of you know what is a GTM? Okay. Yeah. So it's the highest earning that you can have in the education program of Toastmaster. It is called Distinguished Toastmaster. I thought that I want to complete it in 1.5 years. I completed my CC in about 4.5 months, and then I completed my ACB in 4.5 years. And I'm still not ACS, and I think I'm going to take 4.5 decades. Because I believe that if I become DTM, it is for me, I will probably quit Toastmaster. That is just me. Okay. Some of the important learnings from my life is, in Toastmaster in particular, is you need to understand your anger. Okay, you have to be angry at yourself at times. But where to use it, when to use it, it's the journey of Toastmaster which is going to teach you. There will be days when you come, so when you come to a Toastmaster and you are a new member, people greet you, hi, hello, I'm Charlie, you are chaplain, and things like that happen. And suddenly once you join a Toastmaster and 3 months down, people expect you to do the same, and you're like, oh, what happened? I was a member, I was getting so much of love, no love for me. Right? So, it's not that the love has gone, it's the responsibility is shouldered upon you. Ask Prakash whether he really wanted to be the president of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. But when the shoulders get heavy, things happen. And being in a leadership position in Bangalore Toastmasters Club is the best thing that will ever happen to you. The expectations of people in this club is really high. Not they want to be served in the best manner, but they want you to be who you are in the best possible way. Okay, when I was Sergeant Arms, I started my journey as a Sergeant Arms. The first time I took the stage, I was not even aware whom to call next. I ended up calling an MC. And at that time, club was very hot, so I got some really hot reviews about my performance. And the next meeting, I thought I'm not going to go to Toastmasters. And that time, my president Somesh Agarwal called me. He said, "So you finally found that you're a loser." I said, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Prove it." So they had those tactics, which really helped. And I discovered 2 kinds of tactics that you should take from here. That you should definitely take from here. It's easy that people categorize into many different types. Many different types. I categorize people only in 2 types. If you want to work with people, there are only 2 styles, and that is what you will explore during your journey. One is the Hanuman style, okay, and the another is the Bean style. So you are only 2 types of person: Hanuman style and Bean style. Okay, and this is from a little bit of what I learned, a little bit of what I saw, and from everything that I have seen in Toastmasters. How do you motivate people? How do you motivate people?
By setting an example yourself.
Setting an example.
By appreciating.
Appreciating. Okay. So those are exactly the terms that you will see in both styles. So what happens in a Hanuman style is if you tell Hanuman that you see that mountain you cannot climb, Hanuman will say, "Oh, I really cannot climb. Yeah, he is right. I will not do anything." While if you tell to a beam that is a mountain you cannot climb, you will, you tell me, I will go and capture that. You just need to identify which style the person standing in front of you is. Whether he is the beam style or he becomes master. Otherwise, you're going to end up lot of bridges. I have burned a lot of bridges myself. This is from my experience. I'm telling you why it is important. It is important because when you write your speeches or when you take your leadership roles, you always have to think about the audience, no matter what. There will be people who will be from a particular gender, a particular religion, a particular caste. Like, she's awesome. I mean, she's Malayali and she's openly celebrating she's Malayali. How often can you do that is a question. You know, during my time, Sardarjis were like really hep. And unfortunately, I've never seen a Sardarji in a Bangalore Toastmasters club. And a lot of blame goes to no one. Okay, and that is because we have learned our way of creating jokes, but at the same time understanding people. Like, you meet Vijay Anand, he's gonna, if you ask him how are you, his answer is
Top of the world.
So it's an attitude. It's an attitude. I'm sure that this was not the same answer he's been given since 2002, but it is something which is refreshing.
He was not married then.
I'll comment on that. Okay. Few things that I believe that I practice and that has helped me. You may try is practice a lot of evaluation. Okay. I was lucky that I got a lot of opportunities to evaluate people because that is when your real speaker and the listener and the leader will come out. So I have just finished my icebreaker on Friday and I was evaluating someone on Monday. But I was on a different goal. I was on a goal that I'm not going to give a speech in a club more than twice or thrice. So out of my 10 speeches in the communication manual, I did only 3 speeches, I guess, in Bangalore Toastmasters. I gave a speech in Hyderabad, I gave a speech in Bombay, I gave a speech in 7 different clubs, basically. And that was just because I did not want to relax in Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Because you don't want to end up being the champion of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. The members of this club, the past leaders of this club, absolutely believe that once you join this club, we can help you become better. And that is only by practicing your skills, not only inside the club, but outside the club. Right? And finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about how can you challenge yourself. Okay, so one of the oldies, can you help me? What is the, I know Payal did a lot of challenging stuff, yeah. So can you share one of the biggest challenges that you had that Toastmasters actually helped you overcome?
Yes, especially the table topics, I would say. See, it's very easy to come and talk on something. I mean, even I could talk something about myself, but on a topic, when they asked me to, I really couldn't speak. I really mumbled just one line and I felt miserable. I said, oh my God, I really made a fool of myself. But over the time, I felt okay, good. I'm improving and I felt really nice. It was a big challenge for me, the impromptu speaking. Yeah. It was very difficult. To that topic, I mean, what do we think at that point of time? We get nervous, everybody is looking at you. And you cannot make a fool out there. I mean, that was, I used to always feel that, but then I felt really good after coming home.
Yeah, so I've seen Payal actually, I saw when she came for the first time and she was blinking so much that I don't understand that whether I have to listen to her or see her, she's blinking so fast. Okay, so people have improved here. I personally have, my personality is completely reshaped. I have, so after joining Toastmasters, I did a lot of stuff, including leadership. And some of the things that you need to understand is there are aspects of Toastmasters that you will appreciate only after they have happened. Okay? And that will, do not judge yourself, do not judge the club, do not judge the entire Toastmasters based on one performance that you did, on what performance someone else did. Okay? It's a journey that you have to take because every time you come in, there is a new target. Okay? My new target, my personally new target is to be more subtle in nature, which is not easy because I'm really very loud as a person. Although you're seeing a very different version of me, but it has not been the case. I'm sure Vijay Anand can vouch for that when I was a new member, not new member, even the 3-4 years after when I was a member, I used to shout a lot. But now I've toned down thanks to Vijay Anand. Right? What is your major apprehension in being a Toastmaster? Can someone tell me what do you feel that Toastmasters cannot give you?
One thing now I've started thinking is I'm becoming too comfortable.
Too comfortable.
Getting kind of in a comfort zone. So I guess something needs to be done to get out of it. That is one apprehension. I mean, after a certain point, though, there are challenges, but then everything gets into a kind of a routine. And
Yeah. Yeah. So lack of challenge is something that you will always feel in Toastmasters, and for that you have to explore lot of other opportunities. And it is only through this club you will find lot of opportunities. This club is extremely well connected. You have absolutely no idea. People have changed professions. I still remember, I think 2011, there was a housewife who joined this club, and she ranked, I think, 11th in the Mrs. India contest that year. I think her name was Neha Goyal, if I'm not mistaken. So people have done amazing things here, and you will be just surprised how well this club is connected in terms of professional. Networking is an important aspect, but at the same time you need to understand whom to talk to and when to talk to. People will help, but you have to be patient with them at all times. Why I'm saying this is, when you struggle in club, we struggle in club as well. As a member, as a leader, we struggle at the same time. It is not as frustrating for you to not see you improve, but it is more frustrating for the club to see you not improve. Okay, please remember that. I'm sure that Prakash has the same feeling. He doesn't care whether he's learning or not. He's more worried right now of whether you are getting what you deserve from this club. And that you'll learn only in the leadership. And how it is surprising that although this club is all about communication, Toastmasters logo, or you can say the slogan is, where leaders are there. Why does Toastmaster have that slogan? Any idea why?
Because communication is
Communication is part of leadership. But how is a leader made? I mean,
different characteristics of a leader in by project.
I'm sorry?
What are the different characteristics of a leader? All the things are imbibed into the project, like coordination, cooperation, management, communication.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Absolutely. So what you mentioned, did anyone, most of you hear that?
Yes.
So apart from just being a good speaker, there are a lot of things which is required as a leader, which you will see once you step out of this club, start performing in your professional careers, when you start inviting people for their idea. And that is when the difference will come. It is easy to think about something and then present it, but it is more difficult to listen to others' ideas, help them frame it better. And that is when he said that mentoring has helped him. Mentoring is helping someone's idea, and that is when you become a great team player. There's nothing better. I'm telling you, companies will pay you a hell amount of money just because they are a great player. Great team player. Okay, there are things that are intangible in nature in Toastmaster. You cannot account for just speaking a speech or taking one role and deciding on that. Every small little role, like the role of timer, like the role of Canadian, is very, very important. It helps you see through the things, help you perform better in every phase of your life. Every phase, absolutely. So, this is something that I would like to share, although I've never shared before. So, how many of you know that to get into a B school you require a GMAT score?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people know it. This is first time I gave GMAT, my score was 510. So all of you who are aware of how 510 is out of 800. Okay, although it sounds really, really big, but it's people know that how bad that score is. Okay, this was when I joined Toastmaster. I had finished CC. After that, I had given, and I gave my second attempt in about say about 3.5, 4 years, something like that. And my next score was 780. So there is a huge jump, and it is not because of just my English had improved or my quantitative had improved. My entire attitude towards the things had changed. Okay, people who are very close to you will not see that change. People who meet you after an intermittent time will literally say that, dude, you have changed. And that is when you feel that something is happening. My only request to you is be in Toastmaster as long as possible, even if you're a silent member, no problem. We appreciate silent members because we ultimately want audience, someone to listen.
Audience also.
Okay, so before I wrap up, anyone has any questions? I can fit 4 slides, nothing more. Do anyone have any questions?
Why did you join Toastmasters?
Why did you join Toastmasters? Okay, so it's a complicated answer. I'll try to explain. I'll try to ease it as much as possible. So I was out of my first relationship. Okay. And so that was the real thing. And every time I go to my friend's place, they were giving me a lot of poor kid, man, girlfriend left and all that kind of stuff. So this was the only place where people were not judging me. Okay, I joined Toastmasters not knowing what I wanted to do. I just knew that this is the place I can go freely. People are not going to judge me. And that is the only reason I joined Toastmasters.
Evaluations?
After that, I had multiple relationships, but I have matured. And in Toastmasters, you learn. Right? I'm not going to look at it.
Okay, Pawas, how do you handle that tipping point, that saturation point, that mechanical, mundane, monotonous, every week after week, there comes a stage, as you said. How do you handle that? How do you handle that? How do you keep yourself alive? How do you keep yourself enthusiastic, energized? Stay in the bout and keep fighting.
Okay, so the way to look at it is to stay energized, you need to basically then you're challenging yourself. Okay, you have reached a level, you are trying to go to the next level. And I'll tell you, I've been there, and I was there because my only target of evaluating people was to get the best evaluator certificate. Okay. That's actually true. And there are a lot of evaluation you hear, awesome evaluation just to get the best evaluator certificate. But then I realized that if I really want to make a difference, I really have to add someone very tangible to this team. And there was a Toastmaster called Ravi Kumar Thinnegowda. Okay, very good Toastmaster and very silent guy. And I still remember he was giving his 4th speech about the women in his life, and he was talking about his mother, sister, and something. I did not win the Best Evaluators award that day because I was more concerned of how he was presenting the entire speech. And if you give an evaluation that actually makes people think in the way they can be a better person, that is more important. Okay, because you need to get deeper into the content, and content is something that Toastmaster doesn't allow you to evaluate. So you need to get into the content of people, which is not easy. And that is which will be very challenging. It's not easy. But yeah, coming to the club is one way. The district has immense opportunities. You can take up a lot of roles. I personally have started 6-7 programs. You can be part of any of them. I would love to have a person like you do this program. Thank you.
But still, which club do you belong to? Mango's Toastmaster?
I used to, this is my mother club. But then I got married to a new club which is called Advanced Toastmaster, so I'm part of speakers there.
Okay.
No,
So
that is because it's a very
your this communication goals there in that club, right?
No, everything I completed. Nothing there. So it's a very lazy club. We meet once a month. That's why I like it. Yeah.
So, you said you have been from long time you are successful with Toastmaster. You must have learned a lot. So how you are mapping all these learning to your personal, like in your personal advantage? How you are getting the advantage? Like how you are shifting or mapping these things to your personal?
I'll give you the example that happened in last 2 days. So Ratan and I, we were speaking. I told him, Ratan, I will have problem coming to the club because 6:30 to 8:30 I had a client call. Okay, when you are in a services company, you cannot postpone a client call. Okay, it's not something, and specifically when you're senior director and your senior VP is there, you cannot definitely have it. So what I've learned is, one, definitely speaking is one aspect. Second is how to make sure that when you speak with so much conviction that people absolutely believe you. Okay, that conviction will not come so easily. Because some of the people, first 10 projects I barely did anything which was substantial, to be honest with you. But that conviction will come slowly and steadily as you keep coming to the club. That's as it is done. Two skills: conviction in what I am saying, speaking, and most importantly, empathy. That has helped me a lot. Okay, and I feel you become better as a negotiator when you are in Toastmaster. Okay, that is just one example. To move a client meeting, which was supposedly right now, will be in 1 hour. To move that was a big thing for me. That helped me a lot. Secondly, in the leadership, I recently had a personal family incident which I cannot share much, but when people around me were breaking up, I did not break up. And that would have not happened. I'm one of the most easiest guys, Well, I still remember that when my girlfriend died, I cried for 7 days, she did not even cry once. I was that type of guy. I was like, those olden time guys, one love, one life. Now, I've changed the market more.
Practical genius.
Professional, no. I wouldn't call myself professional. That's a very not so easy thing to become. Alright? Okay guys? Yeah.
Talking about certificates, do they actually help you in your professional life?
Absolutely, Anand. Yeah. Why not? Every certification in the sense of gratification. For me, it helped me during my MBA thing. It definitely helped. So I have seen, and so this is something a lot of people will not know. There are 17 members of Bangalore Toastmasters that I have recommended to numerous universities. They are starting in US, they are starting in UK. So these certifications will help, and if you do perform well, your leaders will be more than happy to write a recommendation to everything. So I understand. So a lot of young kids will join. I'm not sure how young you are, but so younger than me, that's it. Okay, so a lot of young kids do join. They want a recommendation letter. Just help them get where they want to, but make sure they try to appreciate what Toastmasters is. Right? Did that answer your question? Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.